Microphones are alive. Alrighty, but guys.
What it do?
What up, Art? Thank you for coming on the pod.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Tell me about these hats, bro. How are you that?
What about the hats?
Yeah, so for those viewers, if you guys didn't know, we're wearing Art's hats.
Oh yeah, right here. Look at this.
Yeah.
And then we got these. Look at this. There's no who the fuck knows about Real Madrid or in Barcelona fitted, you know? Nobody. Look at this shit. So yeah, tell us about these hats, Art.
Yeah, I mean, they're just something that
Keep your mic, your mic. Yeah. Kind of closer.
like that. Do I have to wear these? So no,
You don't have to if you don't want.
I'm wearing them a little bit just cause like
Okay.
I can't. It feels weird now, you know.
Yeah, and then you can just put it up here. You can just put it up here if you want. You got to move the whole thing though. This thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just like that. And then this, you can. Yeah, there we go.
Make it tighter.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, just just talk a little bit to it, and we're good.
Okay. Yeah. No, yeah. Variant de Arte. It's a brand. It's. I started off as a clothing brand. Like I started doing it like maybe I want to say 4 years ago. I kind of just like invested my time into like that whole wave that because there's so much people that just came up off of clothing, you know, and like I've seen so many people do it, and it's not only like because like I feel like back in the day, like when somebody did clothing, it was like a big brand or like a big store or somebody kind of just really just made it, you know, like on some, you know, they had fashion class or whatever, right? And like now I feel like there's a lot of people. Like just kids nowadays just like blowing up off their own clothing, bro. And I seen that like 4 years ago. And I'm like, that's something I want to do. That's something I want to do. Like it's something that I feel like just I don't know, spoke to me in a way. Like I'm like, that's what I'm interested in. But as time went by, like I started learning how to design and everything, and then like it was kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie, just because like building a brand by yourself, starting to learn Photoshop, Illustrator, everything. It kind of felt hard to me. And then I came across a couple people that are really close to me, and like they knew of a hat manufacturer, and I'm like, I love fitteds. You know, it's a great way to put my foot in the door and start to design my own fitteds, because nobody's in a way really making their own hats as far as fitteds. And like I don't know if you guys heard of dandy hats.
No,
and like
I think you showed me.
I might have showed you
me all these.
There's like a whole wave of hats now. Like if you know kind of thing. But there's a huge wave, especially like in the Mexican Hispanic scene, whatever you want to call it. And there's like they're making more of those like snapbacks. Like
is that the one that you showed me where they have like even Rosarios and stuff coming out?
No, that's
different. That's different.
Yeah, it's a little different. That's a little different. It's more like they just recently made a collab with Fuerza Regida.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like, with dandy hats, and like they became big.
Now your inspo, did it come from like, I'm not gonna say money, but like you just, that's what you want, that's where you're passionate, right? So you don't, I mean, obviously like everything we do, whether it's the pod or everything we do is in a way to become something to make money, but like it's kind of a passion, right? Or
yeah, I mean, I feel like I've always had something creative in me, and whether it was clothing or not, I just feel like something, I just had to like be like want to do something where I could be myself in my creative ways. I don't know, but and like it's just something that I've always was into, like since forever. Forever.
I'm well, you're the one that showed me like that you wanted to start this. I didn't even know it was 4 years ago though. I didn't know it was 4 years ago.
If you can think about like the first time I even brought up like a brand to you. And like I remember like going to Pedro to Best Buy my first time.
Oh, to get
like,
a laptop.
To get a laptop to like initially start what I'm trying to do. And like I've had Photoshop for years now, and like I've been in and out of it just because I'm literally like teaching myself through videos and taking a couple courses. Like people go to college kind of to learn it, or they do this, that, and the third to kind of learn it.
You don't need to do that.
I don't. and that's why I'm not doing it. But it takes time though to learn it. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
because
just like everything else, I guess.
yeah, because even with the pod, like, you know, when I like even doing video editing, that
Mhm.
shit takes time. It takes time, and then it, how do I say it? Like, it's not easy, and then you kind of feel like you're not getting on. You know, it feels like you're just slow, and it feels like you're not doing nothing. And I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just hard to do it when you're not like 100% doing it like as a job. Let's just say it.
Mm.
But
Mm.
but I think as long as we do something, you know,
Mhm.
I think that
It's
doesn't,
because
you know.
a lot of times I feel like too when somebody's trying to learn another skill or just another way of, I guess, income or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
anything they're passionate about, that like they're stuck in like this just way of like work, and like, having to deal with everything you got to deal after work, and then barely having that time to kind of really like explore what they're trying to do, really, like if they're trying to work on something,
Yeah.
just because like I feel like what made me take a while too is because I was kind of stuck in that, like in that sheen, like, oh, I gotta work, gotta go to the gym after, and then like sometimes I'll be too tired to like even like
Do
work on
something, yeah.
Photoshop, and then it kind of gets away from you,
Yeah.
and you kind of like
I think it is a lot of consistency. Like
you have to be
we've
consistent.
learned it.
That's the biggest thing
Yeah.
in almost anything, I feel like.
Yeah, it is, because we've learned it in running. When I mean, right now I stopped running for a little while, but like, because we were trying to buy all this shit and buy the land and whatever, but but you kind of figure out that when you stop, even for like a week, you get off track.
Oh hell yeah.
It's because I think what I fucked up on is trying to be perfect too, though, because like I think my perfectionism kind of fucks me over, because I want to be perfect. Like right now, let's just say I'm editing your video and I kind of want to be perfect, but at the same time, it's
Yeah.
just we're nobody to be perfect in that sense, or it's better to put out shit than to not do nothing and be like,
Right,
and
right.
just be stagnant on something.
Right.
If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
That's what me and my brother currently struggle with a pod. Like we want to come up with a bunch of badass fucking clips and put all these things up. And next thing you know, we're like a month without putting content out. And we're
Right.
like, what the fuck happened?
Mm-hmm.
So we've learned, especially when we joke around, we only have like 2 viewers. Especially when when we have something like this and we only have a few people looking at it. I think we should focus on giving them more content instead of, trying to be too perfect to and that keeps us from, not having, going a month or over a month, because
Yeah.
we went for quite
We went
a
for, like,
bit
3 months or something.
without putting anything out. But
Yeah. No, yeah. Sometimes it's better to just be consistent than just like have like credible, great videos and post them like every month. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So what's the next step, do you think, from this? I know you kind of told me a little bit, but
Yeah.
like where do you want to be?
My next,
Your
step-
next drop, let's just say, are you
like,
designing something or?
so I'm not gonna make any of this like complicated or anything. Like I feel like I look at this very simple. Like I'm gonna just create a base with these hats. I'm gonna create just like as far as advertising, like I'm gonna do all that nitty gritty, like actual like stuff that you should be doing if you already made it, just to kind of like be able to like take a step, and then kind of like next time I drop something like actually like my art, on a hat, um that I kind of have a base already to look from and kind of work off of that. Because if you just post them and like I see like a couple of videos and you're not really doing the proper steps, when it comes down to it, I feel like I'm gonna lack a lot in little things that I should have already had,
Yeah.
So right now my biggest thing is creating that base, and then
Just going from there.
just I feel like I've talked to you about this a little bit, but like I feel like my next drop has to be a hit. Like my first drop, like for like just to be able to get an attention in a way. Like these hats have to be clean. But I'm not I kind of beat myself up over it a little bit, but I'm not gonna think about it crazy. I'm gonna just create what I like, and like as long as I look at those hats, I'm like, damn, I like that hat, like myself.
Yeah.
I think that'll be all I need, to be honest.
I told him that that sometimes he doesn't need to be like that hard on himself. Because, you know, I swear if whenever you're like hard on yourself or you're perfect or whatever, I feel like you expect too much, and then, you know, maybe let's just say, you know, all the best for you. I know I know it's gonna drop good. I know it's gonna do good. But like some people may have too much hope, and then they down on themselves, and they're just
Right.
and then they, you know, and then they don't. Then they're like, oh, you know what? I'm not gonna fucking do this anymore. This is stupid, you know. And I don't want you to do that shit. You know, I know you're gonna be successful, but at the same time, I want, you know, I like that you're pushing for that. You know, the next drop has to be a hit, but at the same time, you know, just know that if it isn't, it's okay. That's what I'm saying. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
100%, 100%. I feel like I've taken a lot of L's, even just starting with like what I wanted to do with clothing. Like I've taken a lot of L's, and I'm every time I take L, I'm like, I'm okay with that because, you know, hey, we gotta take a lot of L's until we get that dub, you know.
Yeah,
but not like crazy L's, but like L's that
you learn from it though. You learn from it, you know?
Like I'm taking them as like you could say L's as in losing, but then at the end of the day, L's is also for like what lessons.
Yeah, I guess that's a good one.
I've never heard of that before, but yeah,
damn, that's a good one.
Hey, that's me. I didn't even hear that, you know.
No.
Nah, but facts. But I don't know. Just I'm gonna just keep at it. I'm gonna just keep at it, and as long as I keep dropping sick hats, it'll come my way.
So you want to drop like,
to be honest, bro, like I kind of wanted to stay away from sports. But the only reason that I made Madrid and Barca hats is because I wanted a Madrid hat. I'm like, I've always wanted.
I mean, I guess that's a good way to start.
No bullshit. I wanted a Madrid hat. I'm like, bro, I love fitteds. Why I never had a Madrid hat.
Yeah.
My dad recently went to Spain not too long ago. He brought me back like a Madrid hat from the Bernabeu, but like it was snapback. It was like a little.
it was garbage. She was garbage.
It was okay. I gave it to my mom. Let's just say that my mom likes Madrid too. You know. No, I gave it to her because you know, get her right. You know.
Hey, bro, she's gonna be seeing this shit. She's like, you fucking out.
Oh, nah, it's because I told her I was getting knees, so I'm like, you wear it more than I would, because it looked really weird on me.
Okay, yeah.
Other than that, I mean, if it wasn't for that, you know.
But that's a good thing to do, because like how I want to like do some stuff, like sometimes the quote is like, if you want something or if you want something done right, you just gotta do it or do it yourself.
Oh,
so like that may have been like
sure.
You know, now you
right
now you don't even now, you know.
Yeah, go ahead. My bad.
No, I was saying like now you don't even need to go to like Lids or Pro Image.
Yeah.
Fucking buy ads.
No, yeah, cause I mean, I was gonna say right now that like I like a lot of these fitteds, you know, like New Era's dropping, Cap City, you know. Shout out to Cap City. They still have yet to give me my hat, but because I hopped on their live one day, bro, and like I won a hat off of them. I see, like I just randomly, I was editing some stuff too, and like I just clicked on their live, and they were doing like, you know, like quizzes,
some raffling or some shit.
No, they're doing like some quizzes, like trivia type of thing. They're like, oh, if you guys answer these questions right, the first one to answer it gets a free hat, and like they'll add you to the live, so like two people can battle it out. And I just ended up winning. Like I naturally just hopped on real quick out of nowhere, just like out the blue, you know. I was like, because they captioned the live free hats trivia. I'm like, what? Oh, check that out. Took a little dub.
But honestly, bro, I don't know, bro. You got kind of competition, bro. That fucking nigga Donald Trump, he's good at marketing, bro. His MAGA hats, bro.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Like advertising, you know, he can be the best at it, but
or what's it called? He's the only president with merch or something like that. That's what they give him praise for. So
really,
yeah, hell yeah. I mean, when the fuck have you seen George Bush or Barack Obama with the fucking shirt? Only probably people that make it, you know, some, you know.
He has an audience, you know.
Yeah, he has an audience.
I think I'm gonna have a different.
Shout out to MAGA.
I think that is.
I have a different.
I'm not a MAGA
audiences.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the good things that you're already thinking about, building your base and building your audience and things like that. Because once you have a good base audience, they're the ones that are gonna appreciate your art on your caps, and they're the ones that are gonna, you know, be pushing your product.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of people out here who really just collect fitteds too. Like I feel like
Mhm.
fitteds are in a shape, way, form like a community too. Like
It is.
like there's a
Oh,
fitted
yeah.
community. Like people just go crazy about fitteds, and like I'm probably like one of them. I'm not like crazy, but like I definitely like every time I go to Pro Image or something, I'm taking a hat with me.
Oh, pro image, yeah, not
If I-
lids.
Okay,
Lids, you know,
if I'll go to Liz, take a little peek, see.
oh yeah,
See what it do, but for sure. If I go to Pro Image, I'm leaving with the hat.
easily.
Fasci.
So you said you want a clothing brand. So are you gonna stick to hats then, or like?
To be honest,
you know.
mm, I'm gonna branch off of hats and get into clothing. Yeah, that's fine. I plan on doing that.
But you already know who you're gonna buy, like your shirts or your, you know what you're gonna get into, or
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay.
I could say I have
Was it you think it's easier than hats or not?
no,
I'm just asking for maybe there's some some guy out there that wants to.
because clothing gets really, really like small and gritty and like details as far as like when you have to send out tech packs and mock-ups and like with the hat, like you don't have to send out crazy measurements other than the
Oh,
edits itself. Like once you get into like clothing, like say you want to make a zip up, like you're gonna have to give out all the measurements of the garments, like of exactly what zipper you want, and
dang.
it could get a little crazy. But I mean,
What
this
if
is easier, I would say.
what if it's just like a plain tee or a plain long sleeve? Is that crazy stuff too, or is it just more simple stuff?
It gets more simpler because I mean, if you're just doing a simple tee, maybe a little nice little, let's say screen print on it, you just got to do your design, obviously your tech pack, and then the fabrics, the material,
Mm.
But there's oversized, more streetwear type of fitting.
Yeah.
There's like skinnier fitting. There's you have to get really crazy into like materials because they have a lot of materials. Let's say you could go out of Pakistan or like China. You could go out of a lot of places, but like those two are the like main people a lot of people like to manufacture from.
Mhm.
But if you're manufacturing in China and you have a good manufacturer, you can do some crazy stuff with clothing.
Yeah, those kids make some pretty good shirts, bro. Those infants, they have a way with working the machines, bro. They just be fucking popping out clothes.
There's a lot. Hey yo,
Hey,
there's
you promoting sweatshops? No, I was kidding.
there's a lot of factories out in China that have crazy experience. No, like they're masseuses. Like, them guys know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's crazy. That a lot of kind of like with this election where like, or not even an election, I guess when whole COVID thing happened, we realized that we needed hella manufacturing and we depended so much on all these countries.
Up during COVID.
Yeah, and then we're kind of so vulnerable in this country because we don't have manufacturing here in the United States. Or
But like, I mean,
other
than
don't get me
Mexico.
wrong. Yeah, but I think Mexico, isn't it like Chinese still? Some of the plants are owned by like.
Well,
some of them.
I know that like their natural resources and all that stuff is owned by a lot of Chinese companies.
Yeah, like they're like
the silver mines,
like the minas and stuff.
Yep, silver mines.
Like,
yep.
It's just isn't it crazy that you're in Mexico and like all these people are proud of like being Las Minas. I'm like, bro, you guys work for fucking the Chinese. You guys don't even work for your own government.
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy. That's insane.
Otro pedo.
It's otro pedo, bro. No, I'm just I just know a lot of people that arriba estas minas. I'm like, bro, your country don't even own it.
maybe you can pop up some merch for these paisas, man. Pop up some
merch.
Yeah, some merch with a cap with the minas on that shit.
Oh shit. Honestly, I kind of wanted to make like I don't know, like Mexico, I guess, places like Michoacan, like a nice clean Michoacan hat.
You know what would be badass if you make like a cap, but something indigenous to the state. So
I mean, but it's because we're history freaks too.
Yeah, so
you said indigenous. I'm like, okay. Then you said to the state.
yeah,
In Mexico.
yes, in
Okay.
Mexico, yeah.
That,
So
okay, I thought you meant here for a second.
yeah, so for example, in nosotros, we're all from, our parents are from
That would
Michoacan.
be clean. You know, I've been wanting to do
And,
some Aztecs and stuff.
We'll get this. Well, our family are descendants of los Puripechas from Michoacan. That's what our indigenous group was called, los Puripechas.
Right.
Bro, we were pretty much the only ones that stopped the Aztecs from conquering further north. So the Aztecs were fucking everybody up. And los Puripechas, where we're from, we stopped them. We, stopped. And we fucked them up in 2 days, bro. Fucked them up in one night. And then by the morning, we were like,
Some fucking 300 shit.
literally,
Yeah,
dude. Literally.
Conspiracy.
Yeah, so doing stuff like that would be pretty legit, like getting some Puripecha indigenous, like designs and stuff like that. That'd be legit.
Getting all those together and then just creating something like resembling that'd be stupid.
I think that'd be some legit.
I'm telling you, like, I'm gonna start getting into crazy things, and what I want to do as well is like every single time I kind of like drop a hat, it has a meaning, just kind of like in that kind of shape, way of form. Like every time I drop a hat, maybe not every time, because sometimes I just want to drop something clean, but like for the most part, I want to create a meaning behind a hat, and that's a good way to probably do it too.
And I think obviously you can do whatever you want, but like I like to whenever, let's just say you just drop something, like are you gonna drop like something like how you said it has a meaning. It has a meaning to every drop has a meaning. So are you gonna give it like an explanation, or is it just gonna be
like I even want to resemble it when I make videos on them. Not even like videos, but like a little clips. I want to just like kind of just like when I post something, I wanted to kind of portray this type of meaning, and then like it'd be known, like when they're going through the slides or whatever, they're like, oh, we made this hat because of this, or like because of this meaning, or you know what I mean? Like initially when I started those two hats, I made those two hats, and like I wanted to do spaceship and like rocket theme, because like I wanted to kind of initiate like this is the beginning, like this is about, like gonna take off.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why on that side patch it says time for takeoff.
Say this side.
Yeah, that side right there says time for takeoff with the rocket, and then on there it says 1 of 1 too.
Oh, on here.
Yeah, it says on the patch it says 1 of 1. I don't know if you guys seen that, but
What's 101 or what?
1 of 1 just kind of mean like one of a product, like.
No, that's why you don't want to sell me this, huh? I'm telling you, bro. You ain't leaving without it.
Hey man, I just wanted to keep those because I'm thinking so. I'm never gonna make those hats again,
Bro, that hat that my brother's wearing, bro, that to me is literally a perfect hat, dude. If I'm walking anywhere, dude, if I'm walking anywhere in the country or any store, and I look at that thing, I'm like, oh yeah, that's coming home with me. When you come out with your clothing stuff and your tees and all that stuff, is it gonna resemble the same artwork as your caps, or like maybe like you can do like a collection with, for example, like a rocket t-shirt or something like that, or is it something like completely different, or are you focused on like creating certain artwork, certain stories, how you said that you want to have something, a meaning behind them, and that's it, that's the entire collection and that's it?
No, yes to everything, because like that's why I kind of named, bro, it's crazy, like I named it variant de arte because it's literally gonna be just a variant of art. Like it's gonna be a bunch of just random, just clean. But not only did I name it variant de arte, but my name's Art, so I named it. There's so much like reasons why it kind of like came to me. But like variant, like I don't know if you guys watched Loki before.
Yeah.
You guys watch Loki? Badass.
I used to like Marvel, but then it went woke, and I'm like, fuck that. I'm not watching that shit.
Yeah, fuck that shit. I mean, I stay tuned in. I stay
same here.
I stay Star Wars. I like to watch a bunch of shit.
Yeah,
whatever. But no, I was watching Loki one time, maybe like I don't even know when it came out 2 years ago, maybe year and a half. I don't know, something like that. I was watching it, and what is it called? Like the TVA?
Yeah.
The TVA, like the time.
Yeah.
The time variance authority or some shit like that. Yeah.
So like I guess fucking Loki was abusing the fuck out of the time management. He was like, "Hasta acá, boom, boom, going different dimensions and shit." Fucking he didn't give a fuck. Loki's badass. Yeah. But basically he got fucking like, you know, locked up and taken into you know, the
Got cut
TVA
out.
jail or whatever, and he got put in like the prison outfit, and the bag that said variant. And I'm like, damn, that shit's clean.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like to my head, I'm like, not
So-
only variant means variants of things, but variant can mean like for us, like a variant to us is an alien or like some like a mermaid because
Yeah,
it's
just
like
everything.
us, but variant. You know, I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty cool because in the dictionary, the definition of variant is a form or version
Yes.
of something
Yes.
that differs in some respect from other forms
It's like
of the same thing
yeah.
or form of standard.
So like,
For
once
sure.
you think variant, like a lot of people just think like, oh, a variant of things, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't really know the actual definition.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like it could be like a person
Yeah.
That's dope.
and like
That's dope. That's dope. It's well. So technically, Loki inspired you,
yeah, I got variant
Which-
from Loki. I
which
got variant
isn't
from Loki.
well, isn't. Didn't you tell me that's an actual like a mythological character?
Well, yeah. I mean, all that stuff is Thor, Loki. It's from the Norse
Yeah.
mythology. Yeah.
Okay.
The gods.
Yeah.
With the little G. But yeah, that shit is pretty legit.
Dang.
Do you see the last season though? That last season's it was
I
good,
don't know
dude.
if I finished it or not.
Bro.
I
You
might
have
have.
to. You know, lately Disney has been coming up with some flop ass shit. But no. Loki is
Last
still
shit I
good?
watched on Disney Plus is like that Star Wars, like, you know, like Rebels, Clone Wars, all that shit.
oh the OG. All that OG
Fucking
stuff.
Dave Filoni. Shout out to Dave Filoni, bro.
Yeah.
That shit was top. I'd rewatch that stuff today. Like
Oh,
I'd
fuck yeah.
rewatch that shit today, bro. I rewatched it plenty of times. The Clone Wars and then going into Rebels
Yeah.
was
Hey.
crazy. Not even gonna hold you.
Or what's the other one? That one with the little girl. Is that the rebel? No, that's the name. Rebels. The one with the little girl. That little blonde girl
The little blonde girl?
with the clone.
You're not talking about Ahsoka?
No.
That little blonde girl, little
Blonde.
short girl. She's always in missions and stuff. She didn't want to, you know. She's a clone.
Search this
Oh yes. Dude.
oh, she's a clone.
No, it's the Bad Batch.
They're the Bad Batch.
The Bad Batch.
Oh, the Bad Batch. Okay.
Yeah. That's
Oh, the Bad Batch was dope too.
Yeah, that
was
yeah.
like a couple, like a maybe not even a season.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
two, I think.
2 seasons.
Two?
Maybe
Was it? Oh, it might
maybe 3. But
might have, might have.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of like those little side.
Yeah.
Those are dope.
You know,
there's another one.
Did you see that there's another one out there now? It's actually a live action one.
oh, the Skeleton Crew
Is it?
with
I haven't heard about that.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I don't know, but I just saw that and I was like, I'm not gonna watch this.
I watched the Bad
Batch.
Batch. The fucking Rex and them.
Yeah.
They go berserk and shit.
Yeah. No, that's just
That shit was badass. Not gonna lie.
except all that stuff got washed though, dude. Like if you just look at their recent stuff, it's all washed.
Is
They're-
it?
if I mean
Some,
me and my
some-
me and my brother always go at it, and I literally just because of the new movies, Star Wars is garbage. Just because of the new movies, because the new movies
I
are
think a lot of people can agree with that.
because the new movies are considered canon, so like the canonical story. So it is what happened. Like that's truth.
Mhm.
You know, when you think of the universe of Star Wars,
Mhm.
and man, them new movies, bro, are complete garbage.
I
Just
feel like
Hollywood
this-
stuff to make people just to sell tickets.
I feel like
They don't care about the story anymore.
I feel like it's really the acting is just not even good. Like, and a good amount of the movies, the acting isn't good. Like, it's just like a bunch of corny, like
My girl Ray.
it's a bunch of
And-
corny scenes to me.
But at the same time, I don't think it's necessarily the acting. I think it's the writers, bro. The writers are just garbage nowadays. They don't have enough time or enough resources to come up with a
Okay,
good script,
Okay.
and they come up with a garbage movie. And I'll give you the example of. Did you guys watch The Gladiator 2?
No, I didn't.
Well, bro,
I went in there and left disappointed.
me,
Oh yeah, you
me too.
I went to Flick's Brew House, got me a nice little,
Oh, you went Flex Bruce House?
Pedro,
Bro,
the vibes.
bro, that's not even vibes anymore. That's
That's
what-
outdated.
it's outdated.
I mean,
Bro, hey, Wong.
I like the
I'm not-
IMAX, but those are the only two I'm gonna go. Wait,
No, I'm not. The Flex Brew House still in Morojeno?
yeah. Where else you gonna go? Altoona Cinemark?
Fuck yeah.
Altuna's badass,
Altoona,
bro.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's where I go. I'll go to Waukee I mean, I'm not trying to put it out, but I mean, I'll go to Waukee or Flicks.
Yeah. Well, it's because Flex is their seats. You can't even recline, and they don't have heated. They don't have heated.
Yeah, but they got some. But they got some.
And be like,
I mean, you can go like boom right here. I'm chilling. From right here, some good food.
nah, bro, my back be hurting.
Some
like,
good food. Throw grief.
this steel ass fucking chair.
All right.
No, you know.
All right, but Pedro, tell our two viewers how much times have I watched The Gladiator, the first one?
Oh my god, the Gladiator was a gem.
I don't know, dude. I swear he's watching it once a week. No, I swear,
Dude, I love that movie.
It's such a gem.
I am Maximus. I am Maximus. The collection. I don't even know it like that, but
He's the 8th Emperor of Rome, dude. 8th Emperor of Rome.
What was the
Got
name
killed.
of his cellmate that was like low key? You know, he was a gladiator too.
Yes.
I forget his name.
I can't remember, but he's a badass actor though.
He's badass.
But okay, so that Gladiator 2, garbage ass writing, dude. From beginning to end, all it was let's do some badass cinematic wars just because we have the technology to do it, and let's do some garbage ass writing. No emotion. That movie, dude, zero emotion.
That movie could have been so good.
It could,
because you know what's crazy to me? I went in that movie like, damn, Denzel Washington's in the movie.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a banger.
which Denzel Washington for the most part did sell most of the movie until like the last scene or two that he had.
I can agree. I was like, what? This is
like-
just like not even like aligning to. I'm really like the whole like the sun deal, like where the sun just like kind of made it about like the sun more than like the storyline, I guess.
Yeah, it was garbage. And it was the least. So, if I'm not mistaken, the first Gladiator was, obviously Hollywood pulls certain things from history and then makes it its own.
Mm-hmm.
But the first Gladiator was, for the most part, at least decently well to where like historians could be like, all right, we can go with that, including, all the Hollywood scenes. But this second one was complete garbage. Like, not only did the fans not like it, the historians didn't like it. Long story short, that movie tanked for good reason though. But especially the emperors, the two twin emperors, those are garbage. The guy that killed his brother, he was actually bad. He was actually bad. He was crazy, but he was badass. He was big, buff. He was more like of a brute instead of like a weak guy that they made him come out to be like.
Oh, okay. Like,
Yeah.
not act like okay.
Yeah, but it's all rubbish though, But that's Hollywood for you.
I mean, that's what happens when the woke mind virus. It's a virus, bro. That's what happens. Or do you not think it's that this one isn't? Like, I mean, I heard a bunch of stuff from like that movie Witched. I heard.
I heard nothing crazy about that.
I mean,
isn't it a musical?
Yeah, it's a musical.
Yeah, but I just I just heard that they're actually this might be a little bit kooky or whatever, but it's more on like that, like they're actually doing like rituals and shit in the movie type of thing.
I don't know about that stuff. So let me answer that question in two parts. So first of all, Gladiator 2, I don't think was necessarily woke mind. Gladiator 2 is just garbage, which I don't understand because it had a fire ass director, but it also didn't have Russell Crowe, and Russell Crowe gave a lot of emotion to Gladiator, the first one. He was the one that would put the movie and the characters like, dude, we have to have more emotion here, especially when his family died.
Yeah.
When there was all this mucus coming out of him.
Yeah.
The director didn't like that, and he was like, bro, that's emotion right there.
Yeah.
And it made the cut. But when it comes to Wicked and all that stuff, I can't talk about the movie just because, first of all, that movie doesn't sound interesting to me. It's not my cup of tea. But when it comes to all these rituals and stuff like that, all I know is that if you see all the interviews of Ariana Grande and that other chick, that's just some weird ass stuff, bro. And I do know that Ariana Grande does do tarot cards and does do readings and stuff like that. Yeah, she does readings. Like, that's brujeria type of shit, bro.
Well, have you seen her? Have you seen her body though? Like, bro, have you seen her walk? She's like skinny.
I
Yeah.
haven't really like maybe not know like updated.
You haven't seen that interview? That interview maybe on X will pop up. You haven't seen that interview with
I don't like to get into like
to this stuff. I don't either, but at the same time,
like
like
just famous people in general.
No, I don't either. But like obviously, like my timeline is a bunch. You know,
Facts.
my timeline is just kind of like calling out these weird. It's just weird. It's just weird stuff. So then like
fix your newsfeed so we're like you know.
yeah, my algorithm is pretty fucked
Which
up.
one? This one?
I think it might be that one. Let me see if it.
I've seen it. Yeah.
No, it's one with her and the African American chick.
This one?
No, not that one. She's just chilling by herself. She's chilling by herself.
Is that her recently?
Yeah, that's her recently.
bro.
Yeah, she does look skinny.
No, bro. You gotta.
Nyla Patain.
Look at that. Dude.
Maybe it's that one. Is that one?
This one?
Holding Space. No. Wicked. You probably no. I might find it, but
Oh right, she acted in Wicked.
yeah, she acted in Wicked.
Yeah. Which I actually did hear that she was pretty much just bland. I mean, first she's Ariana Grande is very talented, but the one that stole the show was this.
Did you watch it?
No,
Oh.
that's some fruity stuff for me, bro. That shit's.
I'm trying to see if I see that.
Don't get me wrong, I waste time on a lot of things, you know, but that's not something that I'd waste time on, you know. I've never been into that universe, whatever the fuck it's called.
I don't like.
Is it is that the same thing as
High School Musical.
is that the same? Is that the same thing as the thing that like Jenna Ortega's in? That you know those weird ones, Beetlejuice and shit. Why is that so
No.
popular?
Beetlejuice?
Yeah,
Bro, the first movie because of the first movie.
yeah.
They're old, they're classics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
classic.
I heard that one was good too though. I heard
You know.
I did not see it.
Oh yeah, Imelda. You know Imelda. She dressed up like all badass. as
Oh,
Beetlejuice.
oh,
Go
yes.
watch the movie.
Yeah, but Beetlejuice is a classic. I watched it when I was working out in Wisconsin. I watched it probably like 3 times,
Oh yeah.
but it was all right.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find it, but it's not gonna pop up. Let's see.
No, pues está bien. Ni modo.
Ni modo.
Even well, buddy.
But yeah,
But,
bro, Gladiator 2 was garbage. But don't get me wrong. The scenes of Rome, bro, nobody can do it better, dude.
From Gladiator 2 or what?
And the first one.
All those movies I feel like were good, but I think it is really hard to like once the first movie is created and it's like such a hit for so long, like it's kind of hard to beat it sometimes, you know. Like I feel like that's what a lot of people fail too, because like they have so like much high hopes for the first movie that they watch second, they're like, because Avatar 2 was garbage to me. I'm sorry.
I agree.
I think the graphics and like you know everything, the scenery was credible, but when it came down to the story, I just feel like the story could have been much better, in my personal opinion.
I think that I disagree, because I think that it was good, except it wasn't fast paced. It was such a slow paced movie, which is
I mean, they
okay.
made it 2 hours or like damn near 3, no?
No, but by slow paced, I mean like, you know, it just
Yeah.
took a while to get to, you know,
Right.
the
How long was the movie? Wasn't it like 3 or 2? 2 something.
I can
How
look
long
over
as
it.
fuck? That shit's long.
It's just long, bro.
It is a 3 hours and 12-minute long movie. Yeah.
Maybe I'll rewatch it today. Maybe I've watched it like twice after I seen it at the theaters. I'm just like I don't like the storyline. Like
So
you're telling me they leave the Amazon or the jungle, wherever, I forget the place, what the place is called, but they leave there just to go to see people and then still get fucked up.
well they ended up winning though. They ended up
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
They ended up winning.
Yes.
Well, after
Yeah.
fucking losing almost half the people they have, and
Yeah. Cause yeah, remember, it was only a small
watch it.
amount.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah, they did end up winning, but dude,
Because I thought they got fucked up still.
so Avatar is a different story than Gladiator 2, which again, like all the scenes and stuff like that from ancient Rome, bro. Ridley Scott has a magic power when he immerses you in ancient Rome. I do think that he's Out of all the Roman themed movies that I've seen, Ridley Scott probably paints the best picture of ancient Rome. But in Avatar, I think it's a different story because the guy that was the military guy, that he died in the first film and then came back as an Avatar
Right.
or as a Navi.
Right.
His story is great. His personal arc is great. The arc of his son is also great. And then I think it was completely different. I think the whole story is great. It's just a slow-paced movie. But that's okay because we're still going to get like another 2 or 4 movies.
Think so.
Yeah.
They've announced it.
Yeah, well, they've definitely announced the 3rd movie, but I mean, dude, his first movie is one of the highest grossing movies of all time. The second one, I'm sure, is up there. It's such.
The first one was like crazy to me. Like I thought, like I rewatched that movie so many times.
What's crazy to me is that the technology that they've had back in the day, dude, you can still watch that movie today, and it looks like better than some of the cinematography or what do you call it? The
CGI.
The CGI better than some of the movies today.
Yeah,
it's James Cameron, bro. James Cameron's top. That's why.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't he self-taught?
I think he was. I don't know. He was him and probably James Cameron. The one that or no, not James Cameron. Him and Christopher Nolan, the guy that made Interstellar. Have you watched that one?
Okay, yes. James Cameron is considered as a self-taught filmmaker. Well, brothers, look at that. Look, whatever you're doing with your hat business or your film business, whatever we're doing with our podcast stuff, literally the sky's the limit. James Cameron, one of the best directors, in my opinion, is self-taught and has made one of the best grossing movies of all time.
He has.
That's some inspiration right there.
Have you guys seen those that drone shit? The drone shit that's popping up in New Jersey and shit?
I haven't.
No?
Mm-mm.
You haven't seen them?
No, I haven't.
Drone,
I don't know.
like drone
footage that's appearing in New Jersey.
UFO type.
Like a lot of people thought they were UFOs, but it's pretty clear that I think it's drones. And they're blaming. I think I sent it to you on message morning.
What message?
Well, the government coming out saying it's Iran. They're saying it's Iran, and I feel like. I feel like they're kind of just trying to blame somebody. You haven't seen that? They're trying. I'm not saying that they're trying to escalate something, but like at the same time, how do you know they're from Iran when you guys? I don't know if they have they. I don't even know if they've shot them down. I know I send you the thing on your message. But it's a lot of drone footages that are popping up in New Jersey. You haven't seen it?
Nah.
So
I usually stay tuned with just like little
just little stuff,
stuff like that for sure. But I haven't got into this yet just because lately I've just been in my own.
No, you're good. But like, look at this shit.
That's
It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones. It's everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly. Now, we know there was a probability it could have been our own government. We know it's not our own government because they would have let us know. It could have been some really glorified hobbyists that were doing something unbelievable. They don't have the technology. But let's pretend that's possible. The third possibility was somebody, an adversarial.
Look at that. That's December 11th.
Iran made a deal.
so that's
3 days ago. Okay, go up. Go. What does it say?
Technology.
You got to be kidding me.
This Republican congressman from New Jersey, Jefferson, is now claiming that has high-level sources that tell him that China gave Iran mothership technology, and they are using it to potentially target Trump's home in New Jersey.
What?
Who knows if that's right? But
Van Drew.
But I don't know if why I brought that up is because it's kind of crazy. Well, I mean, you probably don't follow a lot of politics, but it's kind of crazy what's happening and what's been happening, even with like the government trying to escalate wars before even Trump gets in. That's what I'm saying. Where it's I don't know. It's it's kind of confusing, I guess. You know?
I mean, well, I'm not really surprised though. Like it's the same thing that we always go back to, that. Oh, Trump is the worst possible candidate that we could ever have. Yet we had literally the most peaceful times during his presidency. Before him we had Obama, the bomber and deporter in chief, and then we had Trump, and he was going to cause World War III and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But he ended up, we're for the most part we were we were clear of wars, and to be fair, he did end up bombing, the runway, and what's it called? And was it runway in Syria, or
I can't remember.
well, he ended up bombing a runway. But I mean, where was the retaliation at with that? When we talk about escalating things or retaliating, for the most part, I think that was a retaliation because they didn't retaliate back, or they didn't make things a bigger deal. And then in this presidency, well, we got 2 proxy wars, and then who knows what the CIA is involved with creating another organization or whatever the fuck they like to do.
Yeah, I don't know, but I saw that. That was pretty crazy. The drone shit. It's kind of weird. Have you heard of Project Bluebeam? No,
I've heard of it.
You heard of it? Oh yeah, shit. Okay.
I actually heard of it. I think I'd like not read, but like just read a couple, like some of the pages that I follow.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's crazy when that guy comes out. Oh, it's like fucking 30 years ago. He comes out and says that the government is one day gonna, they're working on making a show, making some sort of alien invasion in order to, kind of like I don't know. Obviously, we were young, but when you get older, you read about it, like the Patriot Act, like when 9/11 happened.
mm-hmm.
A lot of people obviously think that a lot of people think it's it was Osama bin Laden, and also a lot of people think it was an inside job, and then also a lot of people think it was an inside job to order the controls, because every time something happens, they get more control in that way. Like, let's just say if they make an alien invasion, what are we gonna do? We're gonna be like, oh, let's let the government figure it out. Let's give them all this power and all this stuff. So,
for example, when 9/11 happened, I remember this clearly. Me and my brother used to be able to go to the airport and would watch people. Our parents would take us to go watch people, just the airplanes taking off, and you could go into to literally the terminals and just watch airplanes take off.
Yeah.
Now, good luck doing anything of the sorts without having a ticket. But when 9/11 happened, we lost a lot of our freedoms, if you will, and then Obama and Pelosi and a few other people on that cabinet, working with, was it the CIA? They're working with an organization that allowed them to spy. So, for example, my laptop has a camera on it,
or these cameras, I guess,
or because they're connected to my laptop,
Yeah,
or our phones, they could literally look at whatever they wanted to. They could tap into your phone, look at you through your camera, and take whatever information they needed. And it ended up blowing up in their face, if I'm not mistaken, right? It went on.
I think it was because of Snowden.
Oh yes, it was because of Snowden.
Yes. Have you seen that? You never seen that one?
Yeah,
no?
So
Snowden.
The NSA? Was it the NSA?
It was the NSA.
Yeah, the NSA. Yeah, that was the organization that would hack into everybody's phones, or had access to everybody's phones, or cameras, or text messages, or sorts of these things. And Edward Snowden is the one that leaked that things out. That's why this guy, who is he's a patriot. That guy is badass.
Everyone, there's people that think he wasn't a patriot, and there's people that think he was.
Well, the fact that he exposed something on the civilians that the civilians didn't know about makes him a patriot.
I think I agree on that.
Yeah. So, and he exposed the administration and the government. And he's actually in Russia right now. He's in Moscow.
Yeah, he's not allowed back. But there's actually a good movie. You should watch it. I think it's called Snowden.
Yeah, it's called Snowden.
Watch it.
Oh yeah.
But back to what we were saying is that every time these big things happen, you get some of your freedoms taken away. So, for example, what was the Information Act or whatever, blah blah blah.
Aren't they banning? It's a little off topic. Aren't they banning TikTok?
See, actually,
they're like taking
actually,
it down now already. No,
actually, yeah, they are. I think
They're gonna take it down?
they need to sell to an American entity, because I think so. I think that went through. I think that went through.
like authorizing it.
I think so.
That's wild.
Which, like I said, I think we talked about it in the last podcast, but like,
There's just gonna be another like platform of the same, like, you know, like
I don't know. I was
be something new creating.
Yeah. Well, I was against it because, you know, I was like, you know me, I'm America type of first type of guy and all this stuff. And then next thing you know, I was like, fuck this Chinese app. But then you realize that they're actually can't, you know, the American government can't censor some shit, so, or can't put out some stuff. So then I think a lot of things was happening on that Israel-Palestine war or whatever. And you can find that on Meta or any of these apps besides TikTok. And they were trying to suppress people on TikTok. And I mean, that's why we can talk. I mean, we can talk because, like, I think that's the best thing to do, to talk and keep people aware, because I mean, unfortunately, a lot of people just care about who JOP's fucking. I've said it again, but it's
You're
true.
not lying, bro.
No, I'm serious, bro. Like,
Guarantee we talk about JOP, nothing but JOP. It'll probably go viral one day.
literally. And then I don't know. It's just like, I think it's just entertainment. Like I've told you before. Remember how I was like, man, I stopped watching sports and all that stuff just because I think it's kind of like, I mean, I'll still watch a match here and there, but like, I don't care if they lose or if they win.
I look at it just as audiences. Like, there's audiences for everything, you know, and like the whole JOP wave and the whole Peso Pluma. Like, there's a big audience there, you know. Like, who doesn't listen to music? There's a lot of people who don't, but
I think it's fine to listen to music, but I'm like, damn, there's people that, and I used to be lost in that thing. You know what I mean? With Finosa Paz, remember?
I used to be fanboying.
Fanboy. I was like,
You know, at least Espinosa Paz was a good example, though. You
I
know?
guess so. I mean, he was kind of a dog. you know, he's a little simp. He was a simp, but
he was a dog acting like a simp.
But bro, like,
real.
but he's not singing, you know, las putas, like, and then I sometimes I'm like, you know what, let me listen to some shit.
But
And like, you know, you listen to like Barbies or something. I'm like, bro,
yeah,
he's just singing about exploiting women.
Yeah.
Which I don't, you know, sing whatever you want, but I'm like, and then there's bitches singing that.
yeah.
I'm like, bro,
It's just a way, bro.
you know, I think I like to at least be like, hey, but you know, like, like, or I don't care what anybody says, but I like to tell people, hey, bro, like, don't forget about what is actually going on, though, you know.
100%, because a lot of people do get lost in, like, you know, just for, like you said, sports, you know, this thing. Like, all the time, they're not even like realizing like the bigger picture.
Think about NFL.
It's just the bigger picture. What about the NFL? Because
NFL
49ers, boy.
I heard. I saw this meme. I saw this meme carrying a 49ers fan or something, and he's just like helping him because he was crying and shit. What's going on with 49ers?
Wait, what? Say that again?
It's like a meme that they were like just consolidating like a 49ers fan. What's going on? Are they doing good or no?
Oh yeah, right now we're getting bodied. We're getting bodied, but only because the 49ers are having trouble staying healthy. Like, all of our players are not all of them, but a lot of them are banged up. Like, we just got done paying millions and millions. You gotta pull up like how Trump says it, millions and millions. Little goofy man. Now, but like, bro, I think it was Brandon Ayuk. They just got done paying him this year, and he tore his ACL like middle of the season.
Damn.
Christian McCaffrey, star running back, like led the league last year in rushing yards, I believe. He was pretty much out the whole season. Like, he came back for like maybe, I don't know, maybe 3 games. Went back out, another injury.
Seems like ain't that happening with Real Madrid too?
Yeah. I'll be telling my friends, because they be like giving me shit, you know. I'll be like,
They probably be.
but we're hurting right now. And we're like, Madrid is still keeping the Barca in La Liga. Like,
Yeah. Hey, I heard Barca's good.
I don't like to stay too much up to. I mean, I like
That's
to
good.
stay
See?
with sports, but to an extent, you know. To an
You
extent.
know, and remember when I would like, I'm not saying I would gun you, but I remember when I would like be like know all my shit.
Yeah, you fuck you would, bro. Like, bro, he was like, just like how you could say he's heavily invested into whatever he's doing now, bro. He was like that with sports. Bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
like, he would bring up like, yeah, 1956, we did this. I'm like, the fuck, nigga, fuck.
But that's what I'm coming to. Like, I feel like when you're so involved in that, you forget about, oh, hey, you know, you're getting fucked over here because you didn't like participate in your local or governmental role as a citizen, if that makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
Or you don't care, you know.
Yeah.
Or you fall for that.
I feel like people, I just genuinely feel like a lot of people are not aware.
I think they
like,
just fall for propaganda, you know. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, like with they think that, I don't know, just these big issues like abortion, gun control, all that stuff. They just fall for the meme, and then they just repost it because they want to be part of something. They want to be like, oh, I did my due diligence, so you know I'm aware. Like, nah, bro.
I feel like a lot of people do just see like a post and I'm like, oh,
yeah, let me share it. Let me
research it.
Yeah, instead of like
actually like put some time to like learn what they're talking about.
Yeah.
That's why like if sometimes when you guys talk about things, like I'll just kind of like sit there until I learn myself about it.
Yeah, until you, because I mean you have like came to me, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about the dollar? What do you think about this? You know, he asked me about that, and I'm like, well, that's my whole thing. Like, if I can at least be like, hey, bro, like, yeah, you know, be involved in your stuff, but like, you know, maybe pay attention a little, just maybe 5 minutes a day, you know, just quick. What's going on?
For sure, and I did because I like currency was a big thing for me too. Like, I just wanted to like know a lot about it and like know kind of where like we're shifting, because I was kind of getting scared at one point. I'm like, what is it, bricks and shit?
He knows about bricks.
Yeah. Like no.
He knows about bricks. Yeah, you asked me about bricks. I mean, but like who knows? Yeah, I should say who knows, who that you know of knows about bricks. I mean, I'm not saying nobody does, but like like technically they were like, what's bricks? You know what I'm saying? You know? Yeah. So that's why I'm like, hey, I mean, everybody knows what's that one? NATO is. Everyone knows what NATO is, right?
Mm-hmm. NATO,
like the
like the alliances.
Yeah. What it stands for again?
National. I don't know. I actually don't know.
I don't know. They're
garbage. That's what it stands for. It stands for garbage.
So I'm
pretty much just a big alliance.
Yeah. And but everyone knows what that is. Everyone knows what the WHO, with CDC, you know, the whole COVID thing. So it's just like, but nobody knows about bricks. Bricks coming up, dude.
Bricks.
You know,
isn't India part of the BRICS now too?
Hey, you've been into India a lot, no?
I've seen this.
Pakistan, bro.
Sri Lankans.
No, India. I think Pakistan hates Indians and vice versa. But
Pakistan's top.
And you can actually quote me, but I've been on India for a long time. Their space program is evolving tremendously. Their military program is evolving tremendously, bro. And then I actually think India is BRICS' biggest backer. You know, obviously you have Russia and
based off of
and
like
all this stuff.
What they have,
based off of their
technology and whatnot,
based off of their evolution. So obviously
resources.
The big dogs have always been the United States, Russia, China, UK for the most part has been rubbish. But India is a sleeper, dude.
Yeah.
And the thing is that they also develop a lot of their own things. So when you see China's advancements, all China does is steal everybody else's things. And it's been proven, which was the initial reason why me and my brother didn't like TikTok, because in the disclosures. So for example, if you have TikTok on your phone, and we were here speaking to a politician, and we're both connected, and you two were both connected on the same Wi-Fi, they could get your information. They could get his information off of your phone, and that's all China does, is just steal information and then make it their own or make it better. In some cases, but India creates their own things. India's for the most part is coming up. So I think that's the biggest backer of BRICS, yes, when it comes to innovation and all those things.
Okay.
But at the same time, you know,
that curry be good.
The what?
Curry.
Oh, curry.
Wait, am I?
Oh, is that the chicken curry type of thing?
Does that come from India? No.
Yeah, I think
I'm
so.
pretty sure.
Chicken,
yeah, it does.
Yeah, it is chicken.
Yeah, it does. But it's funny. I mean, at the end of the day, and I can be wrong in this stat, if you will, but dude, the United States, people are like, oh, what's the United States dollar backed by? Buddy, it's backed by.
Try to find that.
It's backed by our military, dude. we have it, dude.
Power.
In the top 5 or 6 air forces of all the world, the United States has like the top 4. The Air Force is number 1, if I'm not mistaken. Like the Army, the Army branch is number 2. The Navy is number 4 or something like that.
We have a lot of people stationed elsewhere too.
And that is part of the problem when it comes to all these external proxy wars and stuff like that. I mean,
They're just there and kind of like
and
interfering.
yes, and under Obama and the CIA, they're the ones that made ISIS. Like it's been proven they taught this group to battle these other guys, and then they ended up becoming ISIS, and then create. Yeah,
I'm looking to get into that. I want to know. That sounds tight.
Well,
ISIS.
Well, good luck, because the wars in the Middle East are, out of all, I'm very big on military stuff when it comes to the ancient world, like when it comes to Romans and the Ottomans and all this stuff.
If you
when I follow just the Middle Eastern wars starting in the last, I would say in the last 50 years, it's the most complicated thing, because we want to be allies with them. Yet they hate these other people that hate these other people that are fighting these people that we're allies with. But it's some complicated things going on.
What's that one book that's like just kind of like just implements like the act of war, like the art of war? Isn't there like a book
it's the art of war by Shinzun? No, isn't it?
It's low key. I've heard. I was listening to some like audibles.
You listen to
a
audibles?
little bit off that.
What?
That was like the only
Bro, that shit. That's all I listen to now.
Off that book.
Do audibles?
How they're
That's
top. I
You know-
low-key want to get into, because sometimes like kind of hold myself back from reading. I've been trying to read as much as I can. But
I've actually, thanks to Audible, I've actually listened to like I've tried to listen to one book a month, and I've been good.
for real,
Yeah,
you've
yeah,
been
yeah.
helping. Yeah, that's the only
Yeah, but
book,
the-
the Art of War, that I kind of like.
The only bad thing is that like sometimes I like to listen to the ones that are read by the actual author. That way it doesn't sound like, because
like
the author
off-brand.
actually knows, the author knows how they want to express,
Yeah,
and then this and this and this, instead of like just somebody that's just reading a book.
I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Maybe. It's an ancient Chinese military treatise. This classic text, written over 2,500 years ago,
Yeah.
focuses on strategies, tactics, and philosophies related to warfare,
I seen
leadership,
Joe
and
Rogan
consequences.
talk about the book too. I think he was reading it.
Oh, really? That guy's a
Probably read
big
it 5 times.
that guy's a big fan.
Yeah.
War guy.
Yeah.
And it's isn't it funny how 2,000 years ago, whether this book is written, but like we still kind of implement the same strategies in that sense, except Civil War.
How like
The Civil War was
everything
kind
just
of,
repeats itself.
No, I would say including Civil War. I mean, it's some things that have happened throughout the course of all of history. There's no nation in the world that hasn't experienced a civil war.
no, but I'm saying like the way they fought the Civil War, like just standing, just walking towards,
Like,
just
marching.
ready to get shot type of thing, you know?
But the reason
What's
that
crazy? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I just kind of thought it was crazy. I mean, I don't know if it's that gear or whatever, like, but they kind of like just literally marched up and kind of just brought out guns, with the, like back in the day when they had the
That was the Civil War.
And they just like stand like first one to die.
Yeah, they're just standing.
Like the first line, you had to be
Yeah.
the first line, you're done for.
You got me, man, bro. I'm not a coward. I'd go at it, but I'm not gonna fucking just walk.
Like that was the algorithm. Like first line, boom, you're out the way. If you survive, you just luck.
Yeah, but the reason for that, I think, I'm not an expert on any of these. I'm not an expert on anything besides construction. But the reason for that is because of technology. We developed the musket or whatever weapon they were using, and it took a long time to reload. So you would need to be in a line to shoot at them, and then the people would behind you would switch you spots if they didn't get clapped, and then shoot, and then you'd go behind and reload. So you would need to use that warfare, and we even still use that warfare in during the world wars, except the only difference was the trench warfare, which the trench warfare was revolutionary in the sense of you still needed to be in front of your opponent, except now you could be in the ground. so you could just bombard the fuck out of your opponent
Back in the trenches.
and then have these guys find a little pit of an explosion being there, and then keep on, keep that movement.
Now,
Keep on
those
going.
movies during that era was crazy too.
Oh, that's some of the most brutal times, and they're called world wars for a reason. And they're brutal.
And see, that's where I come back as us being men. Like it's never been so easy for us to live. Right now, I mean, I think one of my biggest regrets is probably not joining the armed forces. I think so. I first I was like, at first I was like, fuck that.
At first, when I was like younger, I want to go in the army. I want to go, but
that has actually been a regret of mine, because
Really?
I was this close from joining.
what made y'all want to?
Me in particularly, for some reason, I've
You
always
were watching all that movies. You're like,
maybe so, but for some, I've always had that urge of becoming the best, the ultimate person that I could become, and that includes in everything, in fighting and
Would it be
warfare,
like
if you
a
will.
Navy?
And I wanted to join the Navy, except I started making money, and I was fucking, having these little side jobs, and I was like, fuck that. And I held that regret until we pulled out of Afghanistan, dude. When we pulled out, I started doing research as to why the war happened and who were we warring against, and then why the fuck are we in, all these Middle Eastern places. I ended up realizing that it was all rubbish for the most part, and we shouldn't have been there to begin with for that long. And that's the only reason why I don't regret it, especially because I hear people like on the Sean Ryan show and stuff like that.
Yep.
Sean Ryan has a badass podcast, and he was a former Navy SEAL, and he brings on a bunch of Navy SEALs and a bunch of people that served in the military, and they have the same. They don't understand why we were there in the first place. And when you have them that have been fighting for our country, laying their lives down, let alone all the people that died for the freedoms that we enjoy in this country, and they're questioning it, then that's when my regret starts to pull back, and I'm like, maybe it was a good thing that I didn't go.
yeah.
Because if I'm not mistaken, if by the time that I would have joined, I would have been able to at least been deployed or whatever, or
100%.
serve. Yeah.
I second that. I literally second that.
What makes you want to go into the army?
Me personally, it's just when
you just wanted to defend your country.
Yeah,
You
it's
had that mindset. You're like,
yeah, honestly, after understanding what the founding fathers, what this country has been through,
I'm
what
go to the restroom real quick,
all right.
boys.
All right, after figuring out bring some more now.
Yeah.
Bring some more? Yeah. After just figuring out and finding out and knowing that, kind of what this country's been through, it's just, and when you read all of the Declaration of Independence and all the all this stuff, you kind of realize that in a way you kind of have a duty, whether to serve or whether to talk or whether to be at least be a contributing citizen. So obviously us, that's why I remember when I told you about are you gonna vote, you should vote, because it's a right that everyone, I mean, there's people in the world that want to vote in the US election.
yeah.
But because the US is a global power. So when I realize all that stuff, that's what makes me proud of wanting to join. But then when I realize, and when I start looking into what drives politicians, and all these politicians want wars because it creates all money, and then the military industrial complex, and then all these lobbyists trying to get in war with them and with all these people so they can get more money. I'm like, you know what, maybe it was thanks to the Lord I didn't join because only of that. But it's not because I'm not proud of my country. That's why I try to be very patriotic.
Yeah.
Patriotic about but so that is, I guess, one of the only things I've regretted not joining.
I did for a point in time want to join as well.
Did you? But what was
I feel like I
your
was younger. Yeah, I kind of just
the same thing, or is it more like? Because remember when?
like I feel like when I wanted to, and like when I had in my head that I wanted to, I was young.
Mm.
Like I don't know, like 15.
Well, another reason why I wanted to is because our parents didn't have papers, and then they would I guess tell us, oh, if you join, your parents are for sure gonna get papers. But luckily, my mom got papers a different way, and doing it the legal way. So I don't, I guess it worked out. But that was, I guess that was one of the reasons why I wanted to join, and why I kind of regret not joining.
Yeah.
And that's why I love like backing the blue and being there. I like that we spend time and money into military resources, because at the end of the day, that's what keeps us safe.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. That yeah, and when it comes to so the last guy that we had on the pod was Steven, and he's been a long friend of ours. Mine in particular. We grew up together for the most part. And we were talking on that last pod, we're talking a lot about fundings and stuff like this. And the problem with all those yeah, they're twist offs.
Yeah.
The problem with all those things is that we don't really understand funding to
What degree?
to a degree. The thing that I am happy about is the fact that Elon Musk and Vivek, right?
Yeah, they're doing Doge or Doge.
Yeah, Doge.
Department of Government Efficiency. I think.
Yeah, government efficiency,
which like what pretty much Donald Trump kind of like set him up in.
Yeah, and it's government efficiency. So, for example, like if there's some rubbish, so
he's gonna make everything more efficient, like with
yes,
companies and
I'll give this
inside the government too. No?
Yeah, and I'll give this example. So in San Francisco, the department that's in charge of all their homeless department.
I think I know.
Well, you have more than, if I'm not mistaken, all of their department is like they're getting paid top dollar, like 250, 300K, some even more.
Kind of,
a bunch of rubbish, and they still have the worst. They still have the worst homeless problem. They don't give they don't give the people the help that they need. And what my brother said about backing the blue and all this stuff, I don't deny that it does need efficiency, but if anything, they need more resources. For example, during a mental health case, if there's a 911 call because there's mental health, they send a police officer that only knows how to fight, if you will. They don't know that they're not trained in psychology, or they're not trained in how to bring this person down. So I would say give them more resources so they know how to do all these things. Give them more resources so if the call does involve something of that sort, they can take a psychologist that is trained with his fists, that's trained with his weapons, that's trained to neutralize an opponent if it gets to that point. When all this defund the police things were going on, and some places were defunding the police, there was an instance where was a mental health problem issue going on, and they sent a psychiatrist, and if I'm not mistaken, that guy got injured, or he ended up dying because he wasn't prepared for a conflict like that. But ultimately, what made me in particularly want to join is for that, that propaganda of like, oh, you get your parents papers and stuff like that. And I actually know of a lot of people that have done it for that.
Did their parents get papers?
If I'm not mistaken, no, but they did get their college paid off for and all those things, which, I mean, if you're going to go serve your country and you get your college paid for, I mean, 100%, I back that. It's just that I don't think the college atmosphere, I think all of that is rubbish. I don't think that we should be going to school for the amount of time that we go to school for. And I'm talking about college. I don't think that we should take some bullshit courses like some liberal arts or some arts and crafts and all this garbage. I think we need better programs to to make us one. For example, if we had a program that would teach us, hey, Art, this how you make a clothing brand and a hat brand, and this how you use the software in high school, you would know what you want to do in college. If you wanted to continue, if there was a program that just taught you how to use DaVinci Resolve or Adobe or all these softwares, that would serve the public better.
I feel like that's kind of, I wouldn't say like totally knock off like art though, and like those type of classes, because like, what if somebody wants to,
What I mean by knock off those classes is
make those a main. I guess what you're trying to say is like give it like
options.
Be more diverse and like.
Yes, what I mean is,
that's what you're saying.
Yeah, what I mean is options. So for example, you have to get your electives taken care of first, and you have, if you're going to college, you have to do some bullshit classes that you don't care about, like for example, art class, or at least in high school you
chemistry.
Yeah, and I don't think whatever you're gonna go for, if you have to take some bullshit class like that, I don't think you should be able to take it. Especially going to school for 4 years, your first 2 years is just electives, or your math, science, and all that stuff, and then you still have to take these bullshit classes, and then let's say you want to be a nurse, you pass that, then you have to go to a different school that just involves all these programs of nursing or being a doctor or being a lawyer, and then after you do another 2 to 4 years of that, then you have to take a test to then become a lawyer or a doctor or some bullshit like that. I think that
it is
all of that stuff
to like doctors.
Yeah, I think that all of those things just comes back to capitalism and corruption and things that just, you're getting a loan. Let's fucking milk you for as much money as we can so you can spend 10 or 15 or 20 or 25 years or 30 years paying off these school loans.
Yeah, which it is kind of
scam.
It's no, it's kind of crazy.
It can be.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how. I mean, obviously, I went to college and I don't owe nothing, but it's crazy how you can get a loan for college like that's 100, 200,000, but you can't get a home loan. That doesn't make sense. That's where I'm like, I mean, me buying my property, I'm like, got decent credit and I got money down, and you don't get accepted for a lot. You get me? Like, it's so weird. But if I wanted to go to college, let this 18-year-old get in $300,000 worth of that. What?
Making it very accessible.
Yeah,
it's weird. It doesn't make sense. I'm like, all right, so if I was 18 trying to get a house, I wouldn't be able to get a loan because I don't have good credit. Let's just say credit starts at 18. But if I wanted to get a
you can't start your credit sooner.
I think you can, but I think the fact is, I think your parent has to like involve you in some credit thing. No,
I'm pretty sure you have to have some sort of a cosigner,
because they can get a little credit card.
Yeah, you have to have some sort of a cosigner, and you have to have. If you don't pay the debt, then they have to pay the debt. But it's the same thing though, like what my brother was saying. Yeah, you can get a loan for 300 grand if you want to go to school to be a doctor, whatever the fuck. But you can't get, $100K loan to get a small house, or, something beginners, or even apartments. Like if you're 18 and you just moved,
condo or something.
Yeah. If you're 18 and you just want to rent an apartment, good luck. If you have just started your credit.
Yeah,
but you can get an apartment in college though. So it's the same thing.
Well, they're dorms, they're dormitories. It's different, and so all that stuff just comes back to corruption and things of such.
But I think I agree, but I disagree, because I think you kind of do need college, like if you wanted to be a doctor, or engineer and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I'm not saying anything against that, because we do need college for those things. I want whoever's gonna operate on me to.
You don't want some DEI guy?
Fuck no. Why the fuck would anybody want that?
DEI is bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody would want that. But we do need college for certain things, but to be a mechanic, to understand how to build construction, for even business, for the main things that people go for. So I know of, I might have like 20 or 30 people that I know that I was friends with that went to college for business. Well, it's all garbage, you know.
I was one of them. well, I didn't. No, I mean, it was something that I was going to go into college for, like still kind of undecided, but I didn't end up like finishing. Like I went for 1 year and didn't end up like. I'm like, to start a business is crazy to go.
I mean,
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe you do learn something.
You can, like an
Like, I mean,
accountant,
but yeah.
well, that's different. Being an accountant or a CPA or anybody that deals with a tax code, that's completely different. But I would still agree that you don't need college for that.
No.
You just need a specific. So
I
something like,
because I feel like it was the norm at that moment.
Yeah.
It was the norm, like, oh, go to college,
and
you get what I'm saying? Like,
and that's what I come back to. Like
that's where I kind of clicked out. I'm like, I don't need to go to college to.
yeah, and that's what I come back to. That
I started,
that we find that that's the norm. All of our teachers push on that. I had a very popular teacher when I was in high school, and he said, "Look at this, guys. This is my diploma. Nobody could ever take this diploma away from you."
Oh, like when you were in school.
When I was in high school,
of donkeys.
and he said, "Look, nobody can ever take this diploma from you." And I ended up catching him at the Iowa State Fair, and he said the same bullshit. "Oh, are you guys still in school? Because nobody can take that diploma away from you."
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, first of all, brother, what the fuck do I want a diploma for? You know, like I'm over here fucking a young buck making some great fucking money, and I don't have a fucking diploma. And what I didn't care for was the fact of the diploma. What I cared for was the way that he pushed his agenda on all of his students.
Wait. You had a teacher, a public school teacher,
Yeah.
tell you that you can't take the diploma away from you.
Yes.
What's the average salary of a public teacher? Isn't that like 50K? No, I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. Like,
less than that.
like I mean, if a professor, like, I don't know, if a professor was, you know, in college that knew, you know, that had his own, like, I can understand that, but like a public school teacher,
Yeah, and I do think that they're underpaid. You know, they're the ones they're the backbones of our education.
Yeah, exactly.
And I do think they should be better paid. But in the instance of,
but
you know,
can't take it away from him or
Yeah.
her, whatever, whoever it was.
you can't take it away unless you're a doctor that doesn't fulfill certain practices, and then you get your doctor's degree taken away from. But I think that all of that stuff is rubbish. The way that they push it on us, you know, we're young, we're fragile, our mind, we don't even know what the fuck we want to do. Bro, I'm sure there's a stat out there that says everything, but if almost every friend that I had that went to college just went just to fuck around because they had to, because if I'm being honest, they were just foolish. Why are you going to go to college if you don't know what you're going to be?
Why, in a way, why it is the way it is. Because I do agree that there should be a different algorithm of making just us be more efficient instead of having to go to fucking PE class or like you said, like the art class, those, you know, whatever, you know, like there should be, but like there's like you can't like there's those half of the kids that are just fucking around and like taking shit serious, and I feel like that kind of do fuck or just miss with like how things could be more efficient. You know what I mean? Like kind of just like holding people back and like
Yeah.
a lot of people try making these programs to make education a little bit better, and there's the people that are messing it up and like ruining it for the other people. I feel like that like they're so bad that tries like interfering with the good. So like it's like, but I do 100% agree that there should be a more efficient way. Like we should be able to go to school and already know like what credit is and like, you know, all those, you know what I mean? Like
exactly.
how to buy house. And
Which when I was
100%,
which
is
when
crazy.
when I was in high school, that was an extra class that you could take. It wasn't required.
Like an extra.
Yeah, it wasn't required, but if you needed to know how to use credit or how to buy a house,
go to-
that was an extra class, not required.
I low-key thought Central was pretty cool.
Oh,
think so.
Central is
Central,
the
like,
best thing ever, dude.
Central was top, bro, and because like you can go learn whatever you want. It's like going to like college.
That's
like,
where I
in
got
high school.
That's where I got introduced with the architecture and civil engineering,
Oh really?
and then from there
You did your civil engineering thing.
I did my civil engineering thing, but then I kind of solid a different. I basically got out of going for 4 years or whatever, but that's what introduced me. But I'm glad that a lot of people, yeah. So yeah,
I feel like Central was more organized. Like,
Well, the thing about these extracurricular programs is the fact that they make a difference, you know. So, for example, when you talk about PE and all this other bullshit and music class and all this garbage stuff,
music is badass.
well, music is badass. I'm not saying
so
it's
is
not.
art, but I get what we're saying.
And
like,
I'm not
but
saying it as except it's badass for the people that want it, but when you're required to take it, it's garbage.
Okay.
In Central Campus, if every district across the country had the accessibility to a program like Central Campus,
Yeah.
our college programs would come down, or at the very least, our community college programs, like just going to college for 2 years, you know, not necessarily like doing all your electives and the thing that you're gonna perform on.
Like business wise?
No, not because don't you have to still go to business for 4 years?
Not quite sure.
But what I'm talking about is, for example, Central Campus, that's where I got my love of fixing cars. That's where people know how to.
Yeah, you took the auto collision class.
Yeah, with
I did too.
Yeah,
With Mr. Samuelson.
and that was my passion. And guess what? I went to a body shop, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh
I
look,
remember
there's
that.
these colleges that offer this stuff. Should I go? 100% of the people in the body shop that I talked to, college is why would you go to college for mechanics?
That's what's crazy though, because like,
Why would you go to college for mechanics or to fix a car when you're doing it right here and you're getting paid for it? And it's the
No, for
same
sure,
thing
for
with
sure.
with my brother. My brother's a surveyor, and you could, for the most part, do absolutely everything. Let's just say you, 18-year-old goes into your shop and learns how to do what you do, and you just give him a few programs that you think they're required for. So how to use the very expensive machines, how to use these things, just 1 or 2 classes, or just classes in the workspace, instead of going and spending fucking
that is kind of
$10,000
too though, because like there's these jobs that like you have to go to college for, and then like kind of shape, way, or form, like realistically, like you can kind of just go work for them for that year and probably just already gain that experience, or even sooner,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
just by doing it and learning it instead of having to learn like all these other classes for.
Yeah.
Or what's crazier is that, I mean, statistics don't lie. I think you could probably pull it up, but I think where does the U.S. stand in?
I have a question. Like, does this keep rolling? Like, if I leave and come back?
Yeah, go ahead. You got to use the restroom?
You want to go to the
Yeah,
restroom?
go ahead. All right, and we're back. Yeah, so according to Google, if you guys want to listen to that, the United States educational ranking is 3rd place.
What?
Or sorry,
I thought it was 13.
yeah, 13th. Sorry, guys. 13th place. So the greatest country in the world, our educational system is 13th in the world.
Ours? That's not much of a surprise.
No, it isn't. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, how can we be the greatest nation in the world if we're 13th place?
Who's first? China?
I can see that.
I guess who is first? Yeah, it's probably like Japan.
Who's top 3? Japan. Okay. Wait. Let's try guessing.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna guess. I'm probably gonna guess.
You got them more?
Go ahead and guess, and then I'll
I think. Okay, no, you go ahead.
I'm gonna guess. New Guinea, Papua New Guinea.
what?
¿Qué dijo?
No, just kidding. I'm gonna guess. It has to be an Asian country. not trying to be like stereotypical, but it has to be like.
It don't have to be, because we got
Yeah.
Go ahead first. Go ahead.
I'll guess Japan. I don't know, for some reason Japan.
Hey guys, dude, I'm not kidding you.
It's like a shocker.
Dude, Google is giving me the United States. All these, like the first 5 or 10 things,
Pull it up.
Google is giving me like.
Ask ChatGPT, see what it says.
I already asked ChatGPT. Look, Why does it say that the U.S. is number
Because you're on U.S. news.
Oh yeah, you
Dude, it's
shit. Who's the
oh, here by
who's the
country.
author of it?
Here by country.
Who's the author
World
of it?
population
Probably a
review.
liberal. Dude, see, look.
Country.
Oh shit! But that's world population.
Population.
Oh, that got lobbied or something by.
So does that just mean we know how to make a fire?
Wait, so that's
Wait, so how we come
education
from
rate.
13?
Okay, right there. Look at Reddit. Fuck it. Let's see what Reddit says. Reddit is yeah. No, up there.
Oh,
You,
sorry.
you just saw it. What country?
Oh, I'll go back. I'll go back.
Go right there. Yeah. What country is doing the best education right now? What was that? 7 months ago? Countries top: PISA, Slovenia, Denmark, and Finland. Oh yeah, Finland's up there, huh? Poverty rates, but what the fuck? Why are we talking about poverty? I thought we were talking about education.
I am. I'm telling you, dude.
All right.
Why is it saying?
Google's making this difficult.
It said it depends on the specific criteria being evaluated, such as literacy
Right, here's
rates and.
Global
it's saying-
citizen conditions.
On here, it's saying Finland.
Finland is garbage, bro.
No, but I heard
Oh shit! Yeah,
Singapore,
Finland,
South
number one.
Japan,
Japan,
Switzerland,
Japan's
South
out there,
Korea,
top 3.
Canada,
Japan is not top 3.
Estonia. Where the fuck is Estonia?
It's in, I don't know.
Top 5 countries, the best.
Finland, you just said Finland's garbage, and then
I know.
you just did them dirt.
Well, their country is garbage.
No, that's what liberals decide or reside on. Finland, and there's another country that liberals love.
Oh well, I'd like to see their military. See how great
Sweden.
they
I think it's Sweden and Finland, and it's one of those.
Singapore.
It's one of those soft countries
They have a
that.
manufacturer in Singapore and low key. They make
Damn, you have manufacturers like that.
clean jerseys.
Damn.
Shout out to Kaza.
Is that where I get my all my jerseys from? eBay? I be having a lot of eBay.
Nah,
You
they
made
probably get
jerseys,
them from
bro.
China. You probably get them from China.
Fuck, bro. I thought they were OG.
What are the countries with excellent education around the world? Finland, Singapore, Japan, South Korea, Canada, Netherlands, Estonia, Switzerland, New Zealand, and Norway.
Wow.
So besides Switzerland, all a bunch of flop ass countries. Yeah, besides Switzerland.
What are you
Japan's
basing
beautiful.
Switzerland off of their how it looks?
No, because
Their business banking. So their business banking, their knowledge on business, and of course,
Switzerland is
finance.
tech too.
yeah, their finance, and bro, it's one of the most beautiful countries out there. Japan's beautiful too, but
Switzerland,
a lot of Hello Kitty out there.
no shot.
furries, or what do you call them? You call them furries? What is that? What is that furry? What's furries?
Furries.
Yeah, he says, shut up, furry.
Yeah.
What are furries?
Furies are people who identify as animals and they wear costumes. So like
What do you call Furies?
no,
furries.
furries,
Or furries.
brother.
I thought you said Fury.
No. But yeah, a furry is people that like dress as animals
Yeah.
and they
Mimic.
to them they're actually animals. So since we've been having this woke culture currently, there's been some high schools and middle schools that have put litter boxes in bathrooms. So they're the students that are furries that dress like animals can go and I guess pee or poop in those litter boxes.
Yeah, that's
What
crazy.
the-
Yeah, that's some crazy shit.
That's wild.
But I mean, at the same time, that's what makes America great because we have that option to do that if you want.
Hey, which speaking of which, where did you just come from?
Oh yeah, I came from the capital.
Guess what was
Yeah.
happening there?
What? Our
The-
capital?
Yeah, our capital, our state
Like you-
capital.
You went inside?
Yes, I went inside,
Oh,
and
it's nice inside.
it's beautiful.
You can just go inside like that?
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, I
well,
think you have to pay like a little, like a little fee, or just get into the little.
no, you don't. You don't have to pay. Well, at least today on the weekends, you don't have to pay. You just have to go through obviously the scanner and all that shit.
Security little area.
But we went, and because we were gonna pray, so they had the Satan statue up.
The what statue?
The Satan,
Oh,
like El Diablo.
oh.
Yeah, they put
Like
a,
as a protest.
no, they put the statue of him up just because Satans like to worship that. But they put it in the Capitol last year in 2023.
You have pictures of it?
Yeah.
last year in 2023 they put it up.
Hold up. You just talk your story.
Last year in 2023 they put it up for a couple of days, and somebody from Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken, came down to
No, it's Mississippi.
Mississippi, came to Iowa and destroyed it, which I actually do have an opinion about that. But they put the statue up this year again because they were going to have all these
Inside the Capitol.
inside of the Capitol, yes. And they put the statue up again because they wanted to do all these different activities for Satan, and they want to dress up as Krampus, which is like the negative Santa Claus, you know, the guy that kills people and takes your presents and all this bullshit. And whoever dresses the best of all this shit, and they're gonna, the last ceremony that they were gonna have.
Where you went?
Well, I went to pray the rosary against that.
Oh, okay.
And which I'll tell you what happened here in a little bit. But they, long story short, they want to do all these rituals for Satan at the Iowa State Capitol to worship Baphomet, which in term is basically a demon. It's basically Satan. And the curious thing that my brother was actually on their Facebook stuff, and if you see on their the main picture, they're like, oh yeah, we're just a non-theistic, organization. So which means that they don't believe in gods, or they don't believe in a god. They advocate for the secular world. The secular world meaning a world without God, without values, if you will, without good or evil. And
I'll send it to you.
in this place, they had this statue up, which I'll pop up here right now. How about you get the fuck out of that TV? And they had this statue up in the Iowa State Capitol.
You can play it. Play it right there.
Yeah, turn that fucking volume down.
Who exactly is like
Yourself.
Just let her. Just mute it. Just mute it. Okay. Right here.
Who exactly like
Right there. Right there. Look.
taking care of the Capitol? Like,
It's a holiday
at that.
display put up by the Satanic Temple. KCCI's Bo Bowman went to the State House today to find out more about it.
The supporters of this group say if there could be a Christmas tree here in the Capitol, then they can display this put on
Look at that shit.
the Iowa Satanic Temple.
We're going to really relish the opportunity to be represented in a public forum. We don't have a church on every street corner.
Lucian
Blah,
Greaves,
blah,
co-founder
blah.
of the Satanic Temple.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Display is a symbol for their right of religious freedom. He says if you don't like it, don't look at it.
My feeling is that if people
Why the
don't
fuck you put it
like
there then, bud?
our displays in public forums, they don't have to engage with them. They don't have to view them.
Very dark, evil force.
you don't have to engage with them.
And I truly hope.
I like what she says. Look.
Shelley Flockhart
Look what she
from the
says.
Center says
Shelley.
she was shocked to see it at the Capitol.
Okay, come on in.
Flockhart organized a prayer group on Wednesday around the Christmas tree in the center of the rotunda to oppose the satanic display near the stairwell. She calls it dark and evil and says
What she does.
Christians should spiritually fight against it.
One, I hope people realize spiritual warfare is real. That
It's
there
fine.
are evil, satanic forces that are trying to infiltrate our state.
I'm told the altar here will be on display at the State House for 14 days. At the State House,
Yep.
Bo Bowman, KCCI.
That's it.
Yeah, so they put this statue up here again this year. And
Why? Who's like? And they're just like, that's okay. They can,
well, this is my point of view of it. So first of all, we live in America, and thanks to America, the greatest country in the world, they can do that. It's
constitutionally right, technically.
when it comes to the
So I
secular
can go
world.
put something up in there.
Yeah, actually, because I looked into their webpage. I think it's a public forum that if you want to express some sort of way, I think you just submit that, and then they can accept it. And yeah, technically, yeah, I think so.
So I got accepted to be there.
It didn't get accepted. It's just like if
So
you explain it better, man.
yeah, so for example, the Christmas tree is a symbol of Christians. Whether the secular world wants to admit it or not, the Christmas tree was actually implemented from one of the saints of the church. So back in the day, the Christmas tree or just a pine tree was a resemblance of Odin, the Allfather from Norse mythology. So Odin, Thor, Zeus from that pantheon, Freya from that pantheon of gods.
Yeah.
And they would worship this tree because Odin died on a tree. And one of the saints of the church ended up cutting that tree down, which ultimately got him killed. So he gave his life to cut that tree down to resemble the only true God, which is Jesus Christ. And that became a symbol in Christian identity. Ultimately, that's why here in the Americas, we celebrate Christmas with the Christmas tree, including Santa Claus. Santa Claus comes from Saint Nicholas, which was an early church father. He was one of the fathers that he actually punched a guy named Irenaeus, which was preaching a bunch of heresies at the time. So Saint Nicholas and the Christmas tree, that's all Christian traditions. So what this organization was, in a way, protesting in their own form, which they're able to. We live in America, again, the greatest country in the world. They are able to do that. They are able to put that statue up there. If we can have a Christmas tree in the state capitol, they can have their
fucking pagan idol shit.
Yeah, they can have their, you know, their representation of a deity that ultimately holds no power over our dominion in the capital as well. And that happened last year, and it happened this year as well. Last year, a guy from, where did he say?
Mississippi.
From Mississippi came down because...
Came up?
Yeah. Because he was... to tear that place down, which my opinion of that is that it is unchristian-like and it is unpatriotic-like, you know? I mean, at the end of the day, we live in the greatest country in the world, and we have freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and, you know, it does hold from a few of those Christian values.
It was that guy in the video who kind of like the leader of
No, well,
who kind of wanted to start it.
Yeah, that guy was kind of a leader of that stuff. But this time around, they put that statue up, and we're gonna get a big group to go out there and pray the rosary to battle that stuff. But they actually ended up taking it down because of some of the values that this organization has, which, you know, to a point, we do have freedom of religion, but what does your religion stand for? If it's destruction, if it's all these things, then it opposes some of the constitutional values that we have in this country. Like, you know, if your religion, which their mascot, if you will, portrays Satan, portrays Baphomet, child sacrifices, killings, massacres, all these negative things, then things like that, organizations like that, are unconstitutionally wrong. You know, they're not right.
Yeah.
So ultimately, they actually ended up taking it down. And today we went, and I didn't know this until I got back home, but today we went to, you know, to pray against those demonic energies. But the statue was down because of what I just told you, because they found out that the organization was, what they stand for is not just, we're a non-theistic, non-God-like religion or organization. It stands for something much darker, which it is. You know, if you're gonna say that you're non-theistic, which means that you don't represent a God, or you advocate for the secular world, which in turn advocates for no God in existence, why the fuck would you use Baphomet? One of the worst idols in all of history. You know, why would he use that symbol? It's contradictory. If you want to do that, how about you do something else? I mean, unless they're trolls, which if they're trolls, you know, by all means, but in true tense, they really aren't. Yeah, so that's where I was at this morning, which is why we had to make the pod a little bit later, because regardless, even though they took it down, you know, we're still out there, you know, just praying that negative energy away.
Yeah, I ultimately think those are trolls, and I what I think is that, like, you know, it's just that guy probably was bullied or something. You know, that guy was probably excluded out of. He was probably excluded out of. You know, I mean, think about it. You get excluded during high school. You know, you want to be part of something, and you know, like, you know, oh fuck, or maybe he
at that point.
Or think about that
point,
you don't know, or maybe
for sure.
or maybe let's just say he was like hated by some Christians, because you know Christians can be kind of hypocrites sometimes. They can be
A lot of
oh,
times.
yeah, a lot of the time. So then it's just like, they're these guys are Christians, but they're bullying me. They're doing this. They're doing that. They're fucking whatever it is. And he's probably like, fuck it, I hate these guys. What's the opposite of being a Christian? It's fucking Satan. So
Yeah.
maybe he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna just build this shit, and I'm a you know, it's freedom of religion. So he kind of knew his constitutional rights, and he was like, fuck it, I just those people, you know, it's just yeah, that's what I think, you know. It's just troll, but we do. I do think we are in a spiritual warfare, whether we believe it or not. I do think that
People,
100%.
yeah, people do forget that there is such thing as evil and there's such thing as good. You know, for the entire duration of civilization of humankind, there's always been good and there's always been evil. The other day, I was looking into these researches of the Homo naledi, and they had theistic points of view. So they're a hominid species, not Homo sapiens. So we're Homo sapiens. That's our scientific name. Homo sapiens is what we are.
Right.
And they're Homo naledi, which
I've
had
heard of that word.
which had rituals and beliefs of an afterlife, and not tying two to two together, because you know, obviously I'm not an expert on these things, but if you have thoughts of afterlife, means that you have thought in theistic views. So there's a God present. So and that was what, 30 to 60,000 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
30 to 60,000 years ago, there's always been thought of a God being present in our civilization or in our DNA, regardless if it's God from the Bible, God from the Quran, God from the Torah, God from the Buddha, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, God from the Native Americans. It doesn't matter. God has always been present. And it's only been until, man, what do I want to say? Definitely after the Greeks, definitely. There's always been atheistic
How much
cults around there.
How much years you said? Because right here, it's approximately 335,000 and 236,000 years ago during the Middle Pleistocene epoch.
Here, I'll tell you right here how long, because I actually was writing. So,
do you think there's other like civilizations and stuff?
Like out there?
Yeah.
It's
okay. Sorry to cut you off there. So when I was doing research on these things, 70,000 years ago was we find the earliest form of spiritual practices, which were sacrifice spearheads to a serpent god. So, and that's on a different spectrum from Homo naledi, though. Homo naledi was 100,000 years ago, before humans started practicing what we. Homo naledis were 100,000 years ago from when we started practicing religion, or when we have the first evidence of religion. So, and I would just say this out here. I'm not sure if my research was correct. I just go off of, you know, sometimes I'm interested in certain things and I start researching them and I start making articles and writing them down. So I can't say if that's true or not, which I'll say this off the bat. But
either way, that's fucking long ass time ago. Fuck. You know, it was long before we thought that civilization has existed. So
yeah, exactly. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, Art asked if you fucking taking a fucking he's taking a snap. While we're live.
For the gram, you know,
while we're live.
while we're live.
Fucking kids, bro. I'm just kidding. No, but he asked if there was he asked if there was civilization.
Yes. Do you believe in like other civilizations out there, and like the whole Anunnaki and
so on the Anunnaki and all this stuff,
tablets?
Yeah, the tablets and all this stuff. So if you didn't know, I used to be, well, we were raised Catholic. We're Mexican. We were raised Catholic.
Okay.
And I was raised Catholic until I started asking all these questions, and the people around me had no answers, so I left. And I left the church for about 6 years. trying to dig in these crevices and what's true or what's false and what's this and what's that, what I find is that all these Anunnaki shit, it's one source of evidence, you know? You know, we have the Epic of Gilgamesh, the Epic of Atrahasis, things that speak about the biblical flood, you know, a flood that took over the whole world and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, there's nothing to really. So what I look at is, and why I'm a man of faith is, what is the evidence behind these things? And what I find is that there's some things have more evidence and other things don't have as much. What I can say too is there are other civilizations out there. I think it's definitely possible, except, I mean, our astronomers have looked very deeply into the universe and there's nothing out there. Carl Sagan, or who was it, Pedro? Carl Sagan or another gentleman that said that either there's so much civilizations out there that the impact of that civilization will be known, or we're the only ones out there.
I think
both things are super scary, because either there's more civilizations out there that
are more ahead of us,
or we're the only ones out here.
Mm-hmm.
I think at the end of the day, with the evidence that we have, the God of the Bible has the most evidence to prove those things. So, I mean, when I put that aluminum foil, that tin foil hat on, I would say that yes, there is more civilizations out there, but there's just no evidence for it. And I'm a person of reason. You know, where's the evidence? Where's all this that shows? I mean, all this UFO is information, but it's not evidence because we don't know. We know absolutely rubbish about it. And that's not our fault. The government has information because, you know, people like Bob Lazar, people like Graham Hancock, people like
George Knapp,
they give us clues that the government has the information that we need to make something proper. But it goes back to the Project Bluebeam, that I don't think that information is given to us because they want to weaponize it against us.
Mm-hmm.
But when we look at, for example, the book of Ezekiel, and we see that what he speaks of is something that sounds like a UFO, which I think that the best explanation for UFOs and all this other rubbish type of things, Tucker Carlson has the best explanation for it, which means that it's spiritual, not technological. So when you hear about all these UFOs, oh, they go in the air, in the space, in the water, in the ocean, and they disappear like that. Mm-hmm. You think of, you know, multi-dimensional beings, what's other multi-dimensional beings that we have record of? Angels, demons, things that can access our dimension and leave it instantaneously. I think that is the best description of what a UFO or these beings would be. And when we come back to the Anunnaki and all these other gods and all these other pantheons, Thor, Zeus, Enki, Anu, and all these other beings, I mean, this is just rubbishness speaking out from me. I think that there's some sort of a fallen angel type of thing, like a Nephilim or something like that. Just fallen angels that have fallen from the grace, because we find everything, including our, I'm not sure if you're religious or not, but in the Christian point of view, including our religion, which I am Christian, including our religion, there was so much violence of all the gods, so much violence, including Buddha and all this other garbage. And then we find the reincarnation of Jesus Christ, which I said this in the last podcast and I'll say it again. All faith and all religions and all gods come with a sword. They come with the bloodshedness. Only one comes with the word and love, and that's Jesus Christ. So I think that has more to tell. The evidence that we have has more of an example for us than any of this other garbage. So, I mean, back to your question, is there other civilizations out there? I think if we do the math tells us two things, either yes or no. And what we have discovered is a no. There's no other civilizations out there. But that's not to say that I believe in that. Mm-hmm. I mean, if the universe, as these scientists tells us, is infinite. So I would expect there to be life. Yes, I would expect there, but we don't have any evidence of that, which again comes to the practicality of what your belief is.
Yeah.
My whole thing with this is that, like, obviously I believe in the Lord, but like, if we were to find some civilization or whatever in whatever planet and the closest star system, where does God fit in this?
Oh, the beautiful thing about that question of where does everybody fit in this is the fact that the God that the Christians believe in, that I believe in, is one God, not multiple gods, not how Billy Carson thinks there's a pantheon of gods, or how Eric Van Donigan, that all these ancient depictions is multiple gods. Gods with a small g. What that means, you can make your own interpretation of a God with a small g. Oh, it's just a God that is a very advanced alien that is a God to us. Well, I'm thinking of the picture of a God with a big G, God, the only God. And what we find in our mathematics, and again, my expertise is construction. So I guess I do have a little bit of mathematics in my field, but what we find is that the best explanation for God comes from the Christians. A one God that controls everything, that creates everything, a creative God. In the beginning, he created everything. He spoke, and that simple task of speaking created everything. The best explanation for that is God. So when you say, what happens if there's aliens, where do they fit into this? I'll refer back to our Pope, which I don't always agree with, but we'll baptize them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We'll baptize them.
Yeah. What do you believe in? What do you think?
As far
as is there as whether the big or little amount of information you found, like, do you believe there's other civilizations, or do you believe, or where do you obviously the conversations is always fun to go look into that, but what do you believe in? Do you believe there is more, or do you believe?
To be fair, I can't really say I totally believe something without even like seeing it myself, or like kind of moisten in a way, like there not be much evidence on that,
Yeah.
Like,
but
yeah, I don't know. I feel like I mean, I do believe in God, and I do, practice my practices with it. But like, I mean, it's more like, it's crazy because like, what if you didn't have like, what if like faith wasn't a thing, in this world? You just say it wasn't.
Like faith as in religion, or
like in general, I feel
in
like.
general?
Yeah, like just.
So
like what would we believe in? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like at the end of the day, like we really 100% like don't know nothing for like
a fact.
Like we know this is, but we're like, this is strictly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, what if there's, I mean, yeah, what if there is a God, but like, what if there's multiple gods, and like they're creating their own like world? Like we just don't even know those things.
Yeah.
Like that's what's crazy, because it could like, I'm not saying that's exactly what I believe. It's just crazy thinking of it in that way too, because it's like you really don't know.
No.
Like right now we can be like just in this whole like, like mind frame where we think this like, oh, like from back in the days, like the tablets and just like history itself, like learning off history, like we might think this way, but like realistically, like it could be so much bigger than that,
or so much different,
so much bigger, like you just don't know. But in like the world we're in now, like, it's like, just what we know, so we go off of that, and like that's how it's been for like years. So like I like to believe in God and practice
praying and all that stuff. Yeah.
What I come back to though is the fact that I told you I walked away from the church, and I walked away from religion and all these things, and when I did, well, what examples do we have of atheism? You know, the fact that God doesn't exist.
Right.
You're really gonna tell me that nothing was created out of something was
do feel like
was
there's
created out of
I
nothing?
do feel like there's a creator. Like I feel like obviously like somebody created this.
And that's what we go back to, like I said, I mean,
so, but it's you know, this
and-
conversation goes a long ways because like why, you know,
People, I feel like when I talk to specific people, they're like, "Oh, it's like much developed aliens or whatever," you know.
Yeah.
Are like using us to like learn from us and like to, you know, like I have heard people like kind of explain it that way. You know what I mean? Like
I get what you're saying.
kind of like we're pretty much
we're
and
pretty
a
much,
civilization
anything.
that
We're gonna
yeah, okay, you know, like
Yeah,
a civilization that pretty much see how you're gonna learn, what you're gonna learn, and like how fast you're gonna learn how to, you know, be a civilization and like advance from there as far as everything.
yeah, and but as far as that, what does any advanced civilization have to learn from a group of advanced monkeys? Is it though? You know, a civilization that can both travel dimensions or travel across long periods of durations of space. What do they have to learn from us? Don't get me wrong, I would understand that we would be at least entertainment for them, but what would they have to learn from us that they haven't already learned themselves? When we speak about civilizations that can enter dimensions and exit them, or access wormholes that allows them to travel through various amounts of space in almost instantaneously. So when I think of things like that, I mean, don't get me wrong, the ancient tablets and all this other stuff, they have some stories about that stuff, but it's nothing that is rational, you know? And I'm not saying that Christianity is rational in all of its aspects. What I'm saying is that the aspects that we try to understand, we have evidence for.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, that's what I was kind of telling him earlier. Like there's this evidence that we have here since like history, like back in like millions of years ago. You know what I mean? Like we're like this is what we have, so like we're gonna kind of use it. Like, but like, what I was just saying was kind of like what if it's just way more bigger than that? You know, like to where we're just kind of made to believe this. Or I'm just saying like that was just something like crazy. Like I'm just like thinking of it right now. You know, but like it's just the fact that the only point what I'm trying to make is like the whole thing that you just don't ever really know because it's not like guaranteed type of thing. But
oh yeah,
you know, like I'm definitely on the same page with you. You know, I'm just saying like that crazy like whole time. You know,
it's like, and that's where I go back to where like I think us as humans we're so arrogant to think or to just to like want to know everything, you know, like why are we so arrogant?
Human. Like
I know we're humans, but like why? Like sometimes I think
things as no matter how old you get, like you're still gonna be doing human things, bro. Like
my argument for that as being a Christian would be that what is our God? We, you know, if we believe in the Bible, God created us in his image, which means that we partake in his divinity or in his aspects. So if God created everything that we see, what does that tell us? It tells us that our God is a God of that he's creative. You know, you are partaking in his divinity or his attributes by making your caps, by making your hats, because that's you expressing your creativity, your creativeness. It's the same thing with IntellX. We're expressing being creative, just as he was expressing that. So I would say that's why we try to understand everything, because understanding things at the end of the day, what is it? Trying to be creative and trying to understand our things. I mean, and that's the entire aspects of all of human civilization. We start out in one point and we evolve to another point. Unless you're in a tribe, then you're still living the way you're living worse than what we lived in 10,000 years ago with the ancient Sumerians.
Yeah. Well said. Well said.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's a very complicated topic when we think of, you know, theology and the study of God, not necessarily the Christian God, but of just gods, some with a little g or some with a big G. But at the end of the day, I mean, and trust me, I've dug into the atheistic argument. One of my favorite creators out there is Alex O'Connor, which I believe brings the best questions when it comes to rebuttaling God. Richard Dawkins has a tremendous amount of books, but I do think that he is rubbish on the most parts. He just speaks from an egotistical point of view, and Alex O'Connor doesn't. And he has the best questions for it. And the questions that he brings, even me being non-religious, coming back to religion, it still makes me question certain things of like, am I right to believe this and things of such? But at the end of the day, he questions us. But if we question that point of view, well, what proof do you have that God doesn't exist? I mean, I understand that you can't see him, but just the argument of the fine-tuning arguments. When we see, so for example, the fine-tuning arguments and the big nuclear force and the weak nuclear force, if the universe was slightly more, if the universe was slightly more, if the nuclear force was slightly greater, the whole universe would collapse on itself. If the nuclear force was slightly weaker, it would all collapse on itself. If gravity was slightly weaker or stronger, it would either, same thing, contrast on itself or expand itself. I probably said that wrong, but you could just look up these arguments by yourself. The fine-tuning argument, and the fine-tuning argument says that there must be a creative mind behind the creation of the universe, opposed to the universe being created out of nothing, out of a clump of atoms or out of heat or whatever you want to call it. So it's in that, like I said, the atheistic arguments just don't make sense to me or any, at least, and maybe that's my part, that's my ignorance, but I've been going at this for 6 years and I'm still going at it, you know? The only thing that I can speak upon, and I think that's what makes Christianity so great, is experience. You know, I've felt the presence of God. I've heard his voice. I've felt his love. And I have felt the devastation that he can also bring. But I think that out of all the evilness that happens in the world, God always intends for a greater goodness to exist. And that's all I can speak of at the end of the day, is just experience. And that is the difference, that you can't experience a weak or a strong nuclear force. You can't experience the Big Bang happening out of a clump of cells. You can't experience any of that. You can only try to understand it, and then you come into anomalies like the black hole that is unexplainable. And then you get these terms thrown out of, such as, oh, if we could send a signal back, we could then understand it. Well, who the fuck says we could even do that? Yeah. Who the fuck says we could even do any of that rubbish stuff?
I've had a good amount of people around me like actually tell me like they've seen or like touched and felt like, you know, God before. And like, bro, like when we get to conversations and stuff, I'd be like, what? You know, like.
Yeah, it's all I think it's all a great mystery. And I do go back to the simple fact of, I think us as humans, we are just meant to not understand. We are meant to not understand everything.
And that's where our orthodoxy brothers and sisters come in. That's the whole thing of their things too, is that orthodoxy is more or less revolves around the mystery of God, when Catholicism is revolved around trying to understand God. And then not to say that our Protestant brothers and sisters are wrong, it's just that they just don't know what the fuck they believe, you know, which comes into play where like they all can't agree on anything. besides the main things like sola scripturas, sola fides, just faith alone, and all of these other things. But it's to each their own. At the end of the day, whether you like it or not, we live under God's law, the moral law, the scientific law. We live under His law regardless or not. And at the end of the day, God will make His presence known to you in a direct way or an indirect point of view.
Well said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I'll just say one last thing on that topic. Every religion, every organization always comes with a sword. There's only one organization, religion, whatever you want to call it, that comes with the word and love, and that's Jesus Christ. Not to say that it hasn't been corrupted, because even in my church, the Catholic Church, the Vatican, it's been corrupted multiple times. I think that our current Pope has been corrupted multiple times. But at the end of the day, we're valuable. I want to go there, and we're going to make a trip there pretty soon. But regardless, we're all human beings. Nobody is perfect besides God, besides Jesus Christ. Nobody's perfect besides Him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I'll say to that.
Well,
okay.
Well, thank you for coming on the pod. We're gonna
Pleasure, man.
We're gonna post all these. Let me see if I can get them on this. We're gonna post all these, and we're gonna post your Instagram.
Yeah, okay.
And we wish you luck. We wish you success, and we'll do another one of these whenever your next drop.
Yes, sir. Well, okay.
All right.
Yes,
Thank you.
All right, sounds good, guys.
Thank you very much for coming on the pod. IntellX out.